Primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already know. Outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin. Doing just what he loves, this is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar, no I'm not fronting. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is Primetime Poulton. This is Primetime Poulton, let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. It's the Moral Compass, TMC, and joining me today, I have Aaron from Immortal Rising. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, nerds? Howdy.
How are you enjoying your Saturday?
So far so good. I'm not at work, so things can't be too bad.
That's good.
Although
yeah.
I'll say, so my daughter is in soccer. She's 11 or 12 now. So she's in soccer. And it's early. It's super windy, very cold. Like I don't know if it broke the mid 40s today. We're there, and it's frozen rain starts coming down. Like it was pretty. Don't get me wrong. We were on a field that you could look over, and it looks like rain, but it's all white. You can see the wind, swirling it and throwing it around. It was pretty, but like everybody's like, "Oh my God, where's all this coming from?" It was just like 70 degrees the other day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like that. My hands were very cold, but luckily I live in the Midwest, so I'm used to crazy weather. Yeah, I was prepared.
It is beautiful here in New Jersey today. 78 degrees right now. I thought it was supposed to be rainy, but no, it's a pretty nice day. I hit the gym in the morning. I made the mistake of working out legs, and then I mowed my lawn, which was a big mistake.
Spaghetti legs.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it right now. So when I get up from this live stream, I'm gonna probably be pretty sore. But I'm excited to talk about your book, Immortal Rising. Before we came on, I was telling you how great it looks. Before we get into that, though, let's say hello to the chat. We got Past Master Dan here, tweeted you out, big guy. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He was commenting on the Fulfillment King video, saying I'm humble. Look, if I don't shout out my accolades, no one's going to do it, Past Master Dan. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's true.
We got Mark Pengren in the house. What's up, Mark? Thanks for joining us. I was just over on Desolate Souls Studios with Jay and Sean Aaron. They said they're going to stop by and hang out in the chat when they're done streaming.
Oh, cool.
But I want to thank those guys for letting me hang out for a little bit.
Dude,
before we get into
what is that about? Like they have like a ton of just trophy interviews.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? They've got like maybe 300 subs. I'm like, but they're getting all kinds of awesome dudes. It's good for them.
Yeah, no. So they had me on, and they have a great show. I think they're just impressing people with their the product they put out. So they're attracting all these big names. But yeah, they've had Ethan, they had Malin. They're doing great. So
I saw the Shane Davis one. I told him that it was cool seeing him being interviewed like that, where it's like, because you never get to hear a lot of your guys' backstories, and so it's cool to see some of them not, you guys not as hosts, actually explaining yourselves and your pasts and all that stuff, because a lot of newbies, we don't know all that stuff, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I love those types of interview shows. I feel like Comicsgate sort of got away from the interview promo shows and started doing topics, but I was always a fan of the interview. Like, I'm a comic book fan. I want to know where people came from, how they started.
Yeah. And with my channel, my show, I do I still like doing interviews because I get to know the guy, I get to know, and I know some people use the format of let's talk about topics first and then we'll get into your product so then people can get to know you too. And that's fine. I just still like the interview format, and I also do, like, on Fridays, I tend to do like commentary shows. I'll have like 3 or 4 guys on, and we'll stitch and bitch about something, but I still like the interviews,
Nice. Ronco Pop just joined us. What's up? I was
Hello.
on Ron's channel last weekend. We had a good talk about my career and building a brand and YouTube
Yeah.
Shorts, which I'm currently fascinated with. Just growing my channel with them.
Yeah, I guess Bancroft did one on Mario and got like 1 million views or something like that. Got some subs, so I don't know. Sounds like a good deal if you can get subs out of it.
Yeah, no, just checking the analytics to see how my channel has grown and how the demographic has changed since I've started doing YouTube Shorts. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah,
I think it's an unexplored territory for
you can
comics
get
being right
lost in
now.
analytics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought about doing like 1-minute shorts or something, and putting those out, or I guess less than that, and whatever it is, and just to get people's attention onto my characters. Like I think Chris Fisk from Infinitale Comics or Chronicles, he has done shorts on highlighting characters in his book. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a great idea. I think I want to do that too. So I
Yeah.
may have to work on that when I'm done.
I'm doing a lot of stuff as like products come in to fulfill campaigns, just quick unboxings, like first looks of products, books, trading cards, whatever it comes in. Also big toy collector, so a 1-minute figure hunt, going to Target, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, might as well. I mean, content is content. So
Yeah. I would like to let people know about Coney Waves. I have Coney Waves on Indiegogo right now. We have 10 days left. We're at $11,000. Coney Waves, about a female detective in Honolulu, Hawaii, who specializes in supernatural cases. 56-page graphic novel written by me and Mandy Summers. Interior artwork by Renzo Rodriguez. This is Renzo's cover.
Oh, nice.
Beautifully colored by ink spots. And then we have the Rini variant cover. This is a popular item in the campaign, but Renzo's just killing it on the artwork. Interior pages colored by Coney Waves co-creator Dexter Weeks. Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Renzo's having the time of his life drawing all these beautiful women.
Yeah, bikinis. Yeah, real tough.
Well, I've worked with Renzo in the past, and I asked him what he would like to draw in the future, and he told me he would like to draw more sexy ladies. So I gave him the script for Coney Waves, and he was very happy.
Yeah, I mean, and it sells. So there you go.
Yeah, so Renzo's killing it. He's in like page 30 something right now. So we're way past the halfway point of wrapping this up. I said we're going to ship in December, but we'll fulfill way before that, I believe.
Nice. Yeah.
We also have the screenplay book available with the Marat Michaels cover. In 2010, Coney Waves was in development as a live-action TV series, and I wrote the pilot episode with my friend Newt Wallen. The TV series never got made. I always loved it, though, and when I decided to reboot Coney Waves and bring it back, I thought the screenplay was the perfect way to reboot it based off that. Wow. And the screenplay is available now. You can have it in book format. This gorgeous cover by Marat Michaels from Deadpool and Brigade fame.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Making Waves.
How does that work? Like, how do you get into like selling a screenplay like that?
So at the time, our publisher had connections with a ton of producers, and Barney Cohen, who is the creator of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the Melissa Joan Hart version TV series. He had interest in Coney Waves, and he helped us develop the series. He wanted to be a part of it, and I got to write the pilot episode screenplay. We had Melise Zhao from Vampire Diaries attached as Coney Waves while Vampire Diaries was a hit show on CW. We were like, wow, this is going to happen. Like, we did a huge signing with Melise at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010, and MTV covered the signing, and we were like, oh, this is going to happen. We got an offer from a production company, and we were advised not to take it because there's a bigger offer out there. Bigger offer never happened.
Oh no. Oh, it could have been like an MTV joint, huh?
Yeah,
That,
it could have been something, but yeah. Those are the breaks, though. But I always loved that screenplay, and I always wanted to bring back Coney Waves. It was the first comic book for me that got me started in the industry, and
yeah.
I always felt like I didn't do the comic book the way I wanted to, and that screenplay was like my perfect version of it. So I'm glad I'm getting to do it now. And the person who advised us not to take that deal, he still talks to me, and he was like, I still think that bigger deal's out there. So we'll see. Maybe
It's a
maybe
little late now, buddy. You know,
Stan Lee was what, in his 90s before his first Marvel movie was made. So maybe
I
I
hope
got
that
40
guy
more
buys
years.
you steak dinners every now and again. He owes you something, damn it.
Yeah. There's also Making Waves, the Art of Coney Waves pinup book. This is going to be a foil cover because I love my 90s foil covers. This is painted by Steven Sestilli, and it's going to be 24 pages. Here's a sample of some of the artwork inside. We got a pinup by Chasen Grishup, who is channeling his inner Michael Turner with this piece. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
My friend Matthew Swift did this beautiful piece. And then Dexter Weeks, Coney's co-creator, did this guy. This is one of the characters who appears later in the book that he designed. Just awesome design. Dex is my secret weapon at Haunted Pizza. He draws, he colors, he letters, he does character designs. He designed my upcoming U.S. Assassin action figures. So he's my go-to guy for everything.
You probably shouldn't talk about him then.
Oh, everyone's gonna
Keep him
steal
in
him
your
from
pocket.
me. Yep.
So.
Well, I want my guys to get as much work as possible. So
yeah, for sure.
And then there's add-ons. There's classic Coney Waves books from the 2006 series, as well as the Haunted Pizza calendar that just arrived today. 2024 calendar. I know it's only April 2023, but it's never too early to start planning next year, guys.
Might as well get that calendar now. Yeah,
grab that calendar. It has artwork by George Perez, Kenneth Rocafort, Rini Said Nakan, Chris Graves, Shelby Robertson, Mike McMahon, and others.
Wow. That's a lot of names.
And speaking of George Perez, here's that George Perez Loose Threads cover, available again in this campaign. If you missed out during the Loose Threads campaign, one more shot to get it, and then I'm going to up the price and put it on my online store.
There you go.
And stretch goals, we already hit the $5,000 stretch goal, which is a signature series trading card of Coney Waves, signed by Dexter Weeks. We got this beautiful Mike Caprati trading card. Mike's gone on to work on Deadpool and tons of video games. Incredible artist.
Very cool. Yeah.
He started out as the intern for Coney Waves way back in 2006. Now he's got a whole career. All of us. And the next goal we're working towards, $15,000, the Coney Waves magnet. So, guys, thank you for everyone who supported Coney Waves so far. And thank you to everyone who shared the link.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks really fun. Is that on Hawaii?
Yeah, Hawaii. Dex co-creator, when we were coming up with the idea, we were trying to think of a setting that not a lot of comic books take place in, and he suggested Hawaii, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. So
yeah, everybody likes Hawaii, right?
Now we got Amanda B in the chat. She got her Hurley's Heroes today. Insert closed campaign link here. Yeah, I don't leave the in demand up for long. Eventually you'll be able to grab Hurley's Heroes on my website store. So if you missed out, she's showing the plate of spaghetti. That's for past Master Dan. I always thought that was a goldfish in a tank.
Yeah, okay, I can see it. Yeah, it's hard to tell what it is, but you say it's okay. Pasta, past master, gotcha. Pasta master.
Yeah, it took me a while. I got those old man eyes. I can't see.
Me too, buddy.
And now that it's pasta, I like to think that every time I stream, like it's a family bonding moment for Amanda B and her family. They sit around a big plate of pasta and watch me stream. So thank you, Amanda.
I mean, family can bond over some spaghetti.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mark says, "Yep, the Fulfillment King always delivers." Thank you.
14 campaigns. I think that's
So I
like a
gotta
record.
update that. I gotta update that. I'm at 16 or 17. I lost track, Aaron.
Mhm. There we go. Good for you. Jeez.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to. I need to cut down. I'm gonna kill myself. Working too hard. One last thing, I want people to sign up for Writhe in Pain. Chris Graves and I, we're launching this June 9th on Michael Bancroft's channel. I was so excited about this. And we're going to give away 3 pieces of original artwork, hopefully, during the launch. Every $3,000 we raise, we're going to give away a piece of Chris Graves artwork to one random backer. So these pieces are incredible. They're pinup pieces. Chris went all out on them. So, hopefully we have a big launch. Amanda B says, I was thinking the other day that I believe I have received more Poulton books than non-Poulton books this year.
Really?
Maybe not, but it seems it. I've been busy, Amanda. I would believe it.
Yeah, good for you. Jeez. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No. I tell everyone that I always feel like all of this could end any second, like all this crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And I just want to get all my ideas out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Stuff it
Yeah.
in the canon as while you can, especially because, like, I don't know how much you are paying attention to like politics and economy and all that stuff, but like, I don't know where the economy is going to be in a year. It's like hopefully crowdfunding will still be around because people still have money,
Yeah.
and it's still worth something. I don't know.
No. This year has been definitely challenging with not only the economy, but Indiegogo shadow banning a lot of campaigns. It sent a lot of us looking other avenues to get our work out there. So you never know. So let's get as many books out there as possible.
I mean, thankfully, they're like Luke Stone and his crew came out with Fund My Comic, so hopefully that will make a difference. Like right now, I'm on IGG, but I think after my first 30, I'm just gonna go to Fund My Comic. So, like, I had set up the sign up and everything a year ago. I didn't want to, and then like a year later, Fund My Comic comes out. I was like, I didn't want to just pull up and move over there. So, I'm just gonna write out my 30. And then probably go into in demand basically on Fund My Comic or like a second chance thing or something like that. But I don't know. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies, working with IGG, and they don't have the people bringing content to their website. They're not, like, why would you shadow ban anybody? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to do something, then actually like ban them. Give a reason and then kick them off or whatever you're gonna do. Don't just like hide their searchability or whatever they do. Like that's...
I mean, we're making money for them. They should want as many eyes on it as possible.
Right. You would think. I mean, I don't know. But that's just the thing with IGG. Comics is not a large part of their revenue. So they probably don't care. But the fact that they still have somebody working the streets on it and like shadow banning indiscriminately, it seems like how does Frog G get banned? Makes no sense. Zero.
No, it's a head scratcher. So let's get into your origin story.
Sure.
When did you first discover comics?
So the first comic I read, I was probably like 8 or 9 or something like that. It was like a random one. I want to say it was like a Spider-Man. I think there was 2 stories in it, and I remember the Spider-Man one at least a little. Yeah, and then I think the second story was like the pig Spider-Man was like in the back or something. Anyway, so that was my first one, but I didn't really get into comics until I was in middle school, so like 12 or 13 or something. And there was on this, I think it was the same block or a half a block away or something like that. There was a comic book store, and so on my way home, I would I'd stop in and then that was the same time that X-Men got rebooted. with X-Men 1, and they had like the 5 different number ones,
Yeah.
and X-Force was Liefeld and Jim
Mhm.
Lee, and just all these great artists were new to me anyways, and just seemed like they were at like a peak for them, and I'm just like I ate it all up. We're talking anything X-Men or X related. I loved it all.
Oh yeah.
Plus, the cartoon had come out. I was big into Incredible Hulk with Peter David and Dale
Mhm.
Keown. Loved all that stuff. Huge influence. Trying to think, and then later on, the Spawn. After Image came out, I had all the Image number ones.
Yeah.
And then Spawn. I read that up to like 100. And I borrowed a lot of books too, because like they were pretty expensive for a teenager. And then it was in my 20s when like I got friends were like, hey dude, read this, read that, read this. And it was like Watchmen, V for Vendetta, 300. What else was there? Transmetropolitan, Dark Knight Returns, just a lot of different classic, graphic novels.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I did drop away from comics in a large way, just because like I just couldn't keep up with it anymore. Like I don't know, between the cash and all that stuff. But now I go on to YouTube and I'll look up, like what is it, Comic Book Explained or something, and he'll sit there and he'll basically read it to me, and he'll provide references to like,
Yeah.
oh well, this is what they're talking about, and he'll just go on like a 5-minute rant about it or something. Like, so that's pretty cool. But like what I see now in comics, in like the mainstream, the big two or whatnot, it's like the art itself looks like a halfway done. Like they only went to flatting. They didn't finish it, or whatever it is. It's like less detail. The designs are not very inspiring. It's very generic, and the dialogue for instance, they have this new Mr. Sinister.
Oh, I've seen that page floating around that
Yeah,
people are
there's a
gonna ship.
couple of them floating around,
Yeah.
and it's like, what are they doing with this? Like, why is he asking Peter Parker where he squirts his webs from? Like, that is so. Why would a genius
Yeah.
DNA scientist or whatever he is, like, why would he do that? I mean, I don't know. Just some of their choices seems very childish and
Right.
immature, and I'm not used to that. And like because I remember like 12, 13 or whatever, getting into Executioner Song or
Mhm.
something like that, and it's like these are some really rich storylines. Just great soap opera. Just and like the text speak and like the a lot of the plots and stuff like that is the philosophies that were clashing. It was great. It was really enriching for smart kid like me. It was like, and then of course the images were gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get past Jim Lee? I don't know. Like, what is that?
Yeah. No, I think I might be a couple of years older. So I started G.I. Joe was the book that got me into comics, but
Nice.
then that Jim Lee reboot of X-Men,
Mhm.
McFarlane's Spider-Man, Liefeld's
Yeah.
X-Force, the Keown work on Hulk.
Maximum
That's
Carnage was a great series.
yeah.
I think some people might forget about it.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. That was like the era where I was like, okay, I love comic books, but now I want to make them because these guys, I never really paid attention to who was making them until those guys, and then
Yeah.
to follow them over to Image and see that they can they don't have to work for someone, they can do it themselves is
Yeah.
was pretty inspiring.
It
So
really was. It was like, oh, the bad boys,
yeah,
the current talent of comics and all this stuff. And, not knowing at the time, I didn't had any reference to it, but now it's kind of like it's very Ayn Randian, where they're like, fuck it, we're leaving, we're gonna
yeah,
start, John Galt, it was Image, and that was pretty cool. It was like, oh, cool, they're getting away from their parents and they're starting their own thing.
yeah.
So
The 90s get a lot of flack, the 90s comic scene, but there was as a fan there was so much excitement
so much going
there,
on. Mhm.
and I compared a lot to now what is going on with crowdfunding and
Mm.
Comicsgate. Like I haven't been like I'm still a fan, and I haven't been this excited about like new books coming out, but they're all indie crowdfunded books. And the last time I was this excited about books was back in the 90s.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like the last time I even bought, like, you know, other than the $1 reissues, the
Yeah.
last time I bought a comic, you know, it's only been indie. Like for the past year or more, I only buy indie comics, so I just
I
don't see anything interesting out there.
Yeah,
In
I
indie
still I
too.
still visit my local comic shop. They stopped carrying current books. They just carry old stuff, and that's fine with me because I found like the money I spend on like current product is just reprints of like the stuff I grew up
Right?
loving.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And I
like,
don't care I
you
have the
know, I
single
never
issue.
read that. Let me
Yeah,
grab that. You know,
yeah.
it's a book. Sure.
Yeah, even the stuff like I have in single issue, I was like, oh, I'd like to have this nice collected edition. So
Yep. Yeah, it's funny how that works. It's like,
yeah.
how is that in those board meetings when they're sitting there going over their numbers? Do you suppose they just they pad the numbers, or like who's not being honest? You know, I mean, I suppose so. I don't know if it's true or not, but the way I assume that is going on is that they don't really gain their cash from their customers. I think they're getting it through mutuals, like they're being traded on the stock exchange through mutual funds. And so if they hit their ESG rating, then they'll get, you know, investment cash. And chances are that's more than they're going to make from their customers. So they have no incentive to give the customers what they want. Like
Wow.
they all they have to do is hit the standards for the ESG investment, and so they'll just keep getting pumped with cash. Is that a sustainable model? I don't think so. But am I
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think so, but maybe not. Like,
Yeah.
why? What else would be feeding them to purposely not care what the fans are asking for? Makes no sense. Like,
No,
what else?
it's
Where is their
mind-boggling.
monetary incentive? Because as a company, as a CEO, even they're supposed to put the fiduciary, you know, stability of the company ahead of every other thing or whatever. So why are they not doing that? You know, to our plain eyes, you know, why would you not want your customers to get everything they want? You know,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't I don't
Sorry
understand it.
for the rant, but
No,
it's true.
okay. So, at what point did you finally decide, "Oh, this is what I wanna do, I wanna make comic books?" Was it when you started reading, like, The Watchmen and Dark Knight? And
No. So how this came out was I've always dabbled in writing. You know, like I was in second grade and first, you know, wrote my first creative writing story. It got like, you know, I won the third place in the state. So you know, it progressed, you know, all that stuff, and that was really cool. And I always enjoyed writing. I used to get, you know, awards for essays and stuff like this, and would write short stories, but nothing professional. You know, I think one time I helped write lyrics for a heavy metal CD, that kind of stuff. I dabbled. I helped write for a one panel comic that a friend of mine was doing. So, but this was all brand new to me. Like writing comic scripts and all that stuff
mhm,
was a new thing. And the reason I got into it was because I was writing down like a timeline history for my tabletop game, right? So like I'm writing out all these events in timeline because like we've been playing the same game for I don't know many years, like 30 years or something. And I'm like, I need to keep track of what's going on so that we can reference it easier and all this other stuff. So as I'm writing it down, trying to remember everything, um, the events became scenes, right? Like the event, like started writing dialogue and you know filling in. And I'm like, oh damn, I just wrote like a page for something I didn't need to write, and it's like it was clearly telling me I needed to do this. So I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do? Should I, you know, write a novel for me and my friends? Because I doubt anybody's gonna be interested, right? No way. And I was like, no, because I've had friends who write novels and nobody reads their friends' novels. So I was like, instead, one of the things that always attracted me to fantasy was the art, you know, and I was like, why don't I try doing a comic, you know, for me and my buddies with our characters in there? And that's kind of how it started. And then once I started into the process of actually talking with an artist, like I started with Steve Whitehead. He was my character design artist. Seeing his work, I was just like immediately, I was like, I got to do more. I was completely inspired. I was like, I want to try and do more of this. So that progressed into, I found a sequential artist from Indonesia originally, and was working with him. But with him, it was difficult because it was hard to keep in contact with him, between his life problems and his government shutting down the internet periodically because of protests or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a jamble. It was really difficult. And I was like, I want to keep momentum on this so it doesn't fizzle out on me, or just, you got to keep the energy in a project. And I was like, let me write a short side story, that doesn't involve the main characters. And so I wrote up a side story that focuses on the gods of this universe that I'm writing. And it was 10 pages, and I'm searching through for a new artist. And that's when I found Jose from like ArtStation or something like that. And I contacted her. I was like, hey, I'm interested in doing like a 10-page book, comic. Are you interested? Because all I saw was commissions from him, but they were all fantasy. It looked like fantasy stuff. So I was like, that's perfect. Let's, but I was like, nah, he's going to be way out of my price range and all this other stuff. Well, he comes back to me and he's like, well, I'm in animation right now, but I want to get into doing comics, and I don't want to do animation anymore. I'm looking for a comic book to do. And it was just like the perfect alignment of, everything. And I was like, how about this? And he liked it. It's 10 pages of, action. And so he was like, sure, I'll do it. Well, it's funny because like my other artist, he's amateur. I knew it. He knew it, and all that stuff. And it took him, a month to come out with some pages. Whereas like a week later, Jose's like, here's your 10 pages, completely, inked, colored, lettered, everything that you want. And I'm just like, holy cow, how did that happen? Super fast and all that stuff, and huge, professional quality. So like, I'm stuck with these two different, art styles and abilities. Yeah. So over time, I'm trying to figure out how to take it from just being a project for me and my close friends, into by then I was inspired I wanted to see however many people would want to get into it. Right. And right. So I'm like, Jose, I don't know what to do. I tried launching on Kickstarter and it went zero. Like, I think I got $300, because I didn't know what I was doing. It was like, Aaron, you got to network. You got to build up a community presence and all this stuff. And that's when he told me about CG. Yeah. Now, by this time, I had asked him to do issue 2 for me. So issue 2 was finished. And then he tells me about CG. I'm like, oh my gosh. So fast forward, I guess a year. And I'm finally like, hey, I don't want to have like two different styles. I want consistency in art style. I want you to redo issue 1 for me. And he was like, yes, I will definitely do that. I like everything that's going on with this, the story, the branding that you're trying to do. And so, yeah, he redid issue 1 for me. And that's what we have now. So, yeah, and this is like a year after I started my channel and like all this stuff. He's like, dude, you got to do these things. And I've been doing these things, and I've been just, the networking alone has been a huge reward for starting my own channel. So any newbies out there, start a channel, figure out what you want to talk about and who you want to talk to, and just do it, man. Just go do it. You won't regret it. Like the guy that did my content for this, the graphic content for my campaign page, I met through, interviewing him. And then we became buddies. And then next thing a year later, he's doing, my page for me, doing all the graphic content. So thank you, Chris Fisk, by the way, in Infinitale Chronicles. So yeah, and I mean, long story is now here we are with issue number 1, all art by Jose, and it looks really good. I'm so happy I stuck with it this long and followed through with it. So
yeah, the first time I saw Jose's work, I think I think he had submitted a piece. We did a Graveyard Shift fan art contest, and
Yeah.
Jose ended up winning it. And I just loved his rendition of Graveyard Shift. I hired him to do Viking Wolf cover for me, and then we were looking for a Graveyard Shift artist, interior artist, and Jose got the job for that. And I just love seeing his interpretation of my characters. He has such a great style.
Yeah.
And to see all the work he's doing now is pretty inspiring.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hate the fact that other people are using him, but at the same time, I'm glad that he's getting work because he's got a new baby.
Yeah.
So
Ronco Pop says it's pretty mind blowing how fast Jose is.
it is not only how fast, but also like how like high quality it is too.
Yeah.
I mean, his line work is insane. And not only that, but with this one, his colors really stand out to me. For a fantasy book, this is not the kind of color palette that you're going to see in any other book that I've seen so far. So,
yeah, that's what I loved most about his work on Graveyard Shift, his volume. Just the color palette, it was like no other volume of Graveyard Shift. It really stands out. I like to tell people, like, there's have been people who have complained about the changes in artists on Graveyard Shift. I say John Malin was your Jim Lee, Aaron Alfeche was your Brandon Peterson or whoever else followed Jim Lee, and then Aaron, he's your Joe Mad. So, which I loved all those eras of 90s X-Men. So
yeah,
yes,
nothing wrong with that at all.
How about we get into this trailer?
Ooh.
Great trailer. I love
thank you.
Love the artwork. I love the heavy metal music. So fantastic.
That's the third version. Thank you. That's the third version of that damn commercial. The first time I made it, I had this old 80s band stuck in my head. They did a version of Bad Moon Rising, right? CCR, Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah.
But it was, heavy metal version. And everybody loved it, but, copyright claim. So I'm like, damn, all right, let me try something different. So I went out and I found some music that was supposed to be royalty free, found out that, and it was a killer trailer as well. Like it fit really well. And then, cause like I was looking for like music that would raise tension as it went, and it nailed it, which you can find on my channel. But so then again, it's royalty free, but somebody else copyrighted it. So then copyright claim, right? So now this one is supposed to be no copyright, or copyright free and royalty free. So we should be good. Should be in the clear. And that trailer has actually gotten me over 1,000 views on my channel. I'm like,
that's amazing.
What is that about? I'm not bitching. I'm just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know? I'll take it.
Amanda B says, I just want my Lumina Vox. I think Jose recently said book 1 is ready to go to the printer. So
yeah,
I know he expanded Lumina Vox, I believe, into 2 volumes. So hopefully volume 2 will be wrapped up soon.
Yeah, it's like 500 pages or something ridiculous, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I ordered it myself. That and like a few other ones that he did.
Yeah.
I can't remember the names. It was like something Maximus Truckus or something like. But it sounded cool. So I was like, yes, all of that, because I like his work. So I think that he's going to be remembered. Once he hits his stride, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's scroll through this campaign page.
Sure.
I love the graphics. Did you set up this page yourself, or did you have
that? So all of this, I was told by my graphics guy, Chris Fisk, Infinitel Chronicles, to assemble it in this way. So I did change it up a little bit after my first week. I went back and changed some of the layout. But yeah, he did all of the graphics. And big shout out to Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, it looks great. And here we go.
There's the cover.
Yeah, Killer Jose artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, these creatures in the background look awesome.
Yeah. Yep. There's our 5 heroes.
Yeah, and just great color palette and cool character designs. Looks like a hit.
Yeah, well, that's what I've heard is like some of the people that even have read it, they're like, dude, you have a hit on your hands. I'm like, fuck yeah. Excuse my language. Yes, thank you. I do, so what we're looking at here is the character design artist. Those are the character design prints that I got. And I'm like, I'm turning those into cards. And he did 2 sets. He did a set of that, like, digital painted, and then he did a comic version of the same characters. So
very cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And then Meet the Heroes. I love when people do this.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually, so my first week I went through pitching and all that stuff, and I'm like, I need a panel that shows the main characters. Trying to explain them is too abstract for most people. Let me put it just right there. Here's a pic of them. Here is a brief synopsis of their role in this part of the story, and I think it turned out great. Me and Chris were on the exact same page as far as this panel, for sure.
So here's your cast of characters. Early bird bonus card.
Yes. So the early bird, I want everybody to have one. So because I was like, I'll only do it for a week, or I'll only do it for 2 or whatever. And now I'm like, how about I just for this 30 for the first 30 days will be the early bird, because I think this whole campaign is really not sprouting yet. I think that although we are funded and everything, I think that there's more more potential out of this once people see it. So I'm going to expand it to 30 days, and then after that, I'm probably going to drop this, put it on Fund My Comic, and then no more early bird. So, but with the early bird, the cool thing is if you get everything, or you get the other 2 card sets, that's the 9th card. So the early bird is the 9th card and completes your trading card sleeve.
Nice. So
quick
2
breakdown
stories in one book. Is this the issue 1 and 2 you were talking about?
So it's 2 stories. The 2 stories is issue 1. You have the main story. It's 34 pages, called the Calling, and then you have 10 pages of story of the 2 gods. That is Knights of Locutus. Excuse me. Yeah. And that's those stories. Like in issue 2, there's another Knights of Locutus. Like you follow along. Like I wanted it to be, the main story is like, if you've played a role-playing game or whatever, you get, or a video game, you got level 1 is the main story, and then like level 99 is the Knights of Locutus. Like they're the meta story. Like they see the same thing. They're going through the same war, but only at different perspectives. So it's pretty cool.
And this is all drawn by Jose, all 34 pages?
It's all drawn, it's all colored and lettered by him, yes.
Very nice.
Look at
these
that
pages are amazing.
Yeah. And you can't tell here, but if you actually, when you're reading it, you can see the transition, the thematic transition based on his color choices. And that's that's so cool. Like, even I can see it. Oh, there you go. There's Dommy Mommy. And then this is the cover to the Knights of Locutus. Those are the two gods that we primarily follow at the beginning of the Knights of Locutus storyline. Now, in this one, we see the two. They're not actual brothers, but they consider themselves like brothers in arms, kind of deal. One is like the god of battle. Guess which one? And one is the god of is a god of magic, and they are on a revenge mission to exact revenge on someone a powerful deity or a powerful being who betrayed them at an important battle. So they are actually together. They go in, they go on this revenge run, and then they find out some pretty, for them, life-altering information. So, and the story as well. But now this here, Secret First Immortal, this is originally I was going to only have it available to people who got the everything, but that was a dumb idea. And so I just made it as just an add-on in general. Yeah. This is the first version. This is the one that I've only sold to my friends until now. And like that, for instance, that cover is a buddy of mine that I worked with, and we don't work together now, but anyways, he's a mural artist in Illinois. He's got murals all over the place. And I was like, hey, will you do a cover for me? Because by then I had kind of lost track and touch with my original artist. And so he never gave me a cover. So I was like, hey, will you do a cover for me? Yeah, I'd love to do it. I've always wanted to do comic and all that stuff. So he did that for me. And actually, if you scroll down, you can see side by side pages from the original and Jose's version.
Oh, wow. This is really cool, especially, I don't know, it's almost like, I don't know, a special edition of a book. You see. Well,
it's definitely limited. Like yeah. I've only printed so many, and it'll never see print again. So yeah, if you want to help contribute a little extra than just the everything, you can get this book as well. It'll never see print again, and it's just a really cool collector's thing.
So wow, yeah, the book looks amazing. Jose is probably one of my favorite artists in the community. He just has such a unique style, and everything he does just looks so much fun.
Yeah, well, it's like I've heard people during my tour. I've heard people say that, like, looking at the pages and everything, it's like reading an anime. Like you're just sitting there reading it, with the dynamic angles and everything. Only it's not like over the top. It's not too anime or too manga. It's just right, and I agree. It's just like if some if a studio for whatever reason saw it and was like, that'd be a great IP to grab or whatever, there wouldn't be a lot they'd have to reinvent. You could just grab a lot of what Jose's already done. So
let's go through these tiers. You have a digital tier for $5.
Yes, sir.
The early bird basic Immortal, $20.
Yeah, and that is it's one physical book, a PDF, which I'm trying to figure out how. I'm trying to look into watermarking and unique IDs so that customers don't get screwed over. I think it helps protect the customer, and then also the early bird card.
Very nice.
Which will help if you want to add on the extra cards. So. But the bundle is 2 physical books, the PDF and the card. And the 2 physical books is like, well, I give one away to a buddy, or you can put one away and never touch it, and then dog ear the other one.
Yeah.
And then the big boy is the everything. So that is 2 physical books. That is a PDF of 34 sketch pages of the main story. So like Jose's storyboard work. It's all sketchy and all that stuff. It's not complete or nothing like that. But so I asked him, I was like, hey, Jose, how can I add value to this campaign from the stuff that we already have? And he was like, well, I get asked by other artists for sketch versions of my work. You could try that. And so that's exactly what that is. It's if you want to practice, coloring or finishing, lines or whatever it is, it's available for sure. And I think that's $5 as well. But moving on, we also have the PDF version. It's all, complete. It'll be at least 44 pages. There's also 2 posters. One is the cover by Jose, and the other is by the character design artist, Steve Whitehead. And then there are the 2 sets of 4 cards by Steve Whitehead, which we were looking at earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the early bird, you get that 9th card to complete everything.
So, man, it's pretty straightforward. Only a few different tiers, but lots of add-ons. Correct?
Yeah, I wanted to do the a la carte. Like, I didn't want to be bogged down with, I'll get that one. Somebody be like, well, I'll get that perk, but I don't really care about those 2 extra things. So to lighten the load on me, as well as my fulfillment guy, I was like, let me just do a la carte, and we'll pick through it all.
Yeah. So, man, I feel like I've already said it a ton of times, but this looks incredible. Is there anything, that people in the chat and people watching that we haven't mentioned that you would like to mention?
Yes. So, excuse me. So for fulfillment, now my printer is on my way to work. I've worked with them before. They printed the first version. We've talked and all that stuff. I've gotten quotes from them. I'm just waiting on the final number of books to print out. And then after they print it out, it'll be I think, was it 80-pound glossy, something like that, saddle stitched. I'll get all those and I'll send them to my fulfillment guy, Critical Blast, and then he'll disperse it all. One of the great things about using Critical Blast is that if you're international, the international shipping rate is like $10. So you don't have to worry about, $25 to go to Canada or whatever it is right now, or $35 to go to Britain or something like that. I'm able to get deals through Critical Blast. So
Nice.
If you want a physical version, buy the physical version. Don't just do digital, spoil yourself. It's fine. And then let's see what else. Yeah, so I guess don't, I know it's my first one, but don't worry about it. I try to trust people smarter than myself at these things. Like Chris Fisk did I couldn't do this. It's funny. So like, I'm trying to come up with all these graphics on my own, not being a graphic artist at all. Like I work on equipment, I'm a technician on equipment. So I'm not, graphic savvy. And like, I'm like, dude, Chris, will you please help me? And he's like, sure. What do you got? And I'm like, I show him. And I'm like, well, before I show you, I just want to say that the difference between our work is trailer park would be me, and then professional would be you. And he was, he's laughing and everything, and he saw it, and he laughed even harder. So I'm glad that I went with Chris on this instead of sticking with my own. So,
well, the page looks great.
Yeah. Yes, Chris, it does. But let's see what else. I guess on top of that, the big thing is that this is not a one-off. So I have issue number 2. It's 99% done. Small things to change here and there, nothing major. And I plan on launching that later this year. So if you get on this one, like I said, it's not a one-off. You have another issue ready to go. And this issue, anything past cost goes to Jose for issue 3. Because the way I wrote this is a 3-issue arc. You get your basic, 3-act arc kind of deal. And if it goes past 3, that's great, because I have it written out to like 20. So, at least outline that far. But the first 3 are definitely a thing, and will all be handled by Jose. So if you would like to buy Jose some diapers and get number 3 in production, then go ahead and back the book. You'll love it. Nothing else like this in fantasy. If you like fantasy at all, or Jose's work, He's not doing this kind of stuff in any other book that he's doing either. Like this is like dark fantasy of Castlevania meets epic fantasy of Final Fantasy. Like there's nothing else out there that's anywhere near this. So yes, please. If it sounds halfway good, it's $20, you know, plus shipping, and it's yours. It's a beautiful book. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you sold me. Now you mentioned your YouTube channel. Where can people find that at, as well as where can they find you on the internet?
Sure. So YouTube, you have to type it all in. You got to say Immortal Rising comic book at least the first time, because there's a video game out there that if you put in Immortal Rising, it'll pull it up. So put in Immortal Rising comic book, like, sub, and share. Go through there. I have over 100 videos, interviews, commentary, and it's all about fantasy. Well, I wouldn't say all, but it's mostly fantasy, revolving around CG, revolving around the OSR and tabletop. I don't know if you're familiar with tabletop games at all, but the OSR is kind of like the CG of tabletop stuff.
Yeah.
And then also I interview Iron Age writers. So if you're into novels, pulp, or just Iron Age in general, you want to back all that stuff, I have interviews with some of those guys. For instance, Iron Age Media, the guy that did the Anvil magazine, he's been on my show probably 3 or 4 times. So
nice.
You know, we're internet buddies. I don't know. Not sure how that works, but all that stuff. And I try to center it mostly on fantasy genre stuff and tabletop and all that stuff. So yeah, if you like any of that, go like and sub, because I don't think anybody else is doing any of that either. So I'm where to find that. And also, if you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Immortal Rising 1. And again, I mostly share just fantasy stuff. Sometimes some things from like my kids or something like that. But yeah, a lot of fantasy genre.
Awesome. It was great talking with you today, Aaron, and learning all about Immortal Rising. One last thing I want to share. I currently have the Sean Aaron variant cover to U.S. Assassin 3, the black and white edition. All profits to this go to Sean's family, who is still dealing with the death of both his parents over the last year. So please, even if you can't back it, please share the link out. Maybe someone you know would love it. Homaging Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Sean did a killer job on this, but it has his character Type 1, which his campaign's launching later this year with the cast from U.S. Assassin. So guys, please consider purchasing a copy to help Sean and his family out.
Well, Sean does Type 1?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just on Joe Sontag with Sean as well. So
yeah. Sean was telling me he just had you on. So awesome.
Yeah, good dude.
It's a good community.
It really is.
All right, guys. You can subscribe to Primetime Poulton, hit the notifications, and I'll be back Wednesday for CG Revolution with Chris Graves, Sean, and Mike McMahon. Thanks for watching. Amanda B, thanks for sharing the links, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.